Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Eat, Crit and Survive, where a bunch of guys gather responsibly in different places to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Blah blah!
I feel like you must have scolded Matt recently, and that's why he didn't just blurt something out as he introed in.
I was really tempted, but thought, nah.
I
Gotta
avoided
mix
it
it up.
for this particular moment. But anyway, yes, we're back. After some weird technical difficulties last week, which meant that the footage that we had was virtually unusable, and the rest of the episode just went away. So there's that. So there's going to be a slightly longer recap than usual. Jared is not with us this week. He is unfortunately unwell. So he gets well soon. As opposed to last week where he wasn't here because he forgot what day of the week it was.
That's quarantine.
That's all blending together as one. So, on that note, I'm still slightly concerned that the stream does not appear to have done anything yet.
When you say done anything?
Well, it's still on the stream will be starting soon screen. And I don't know if that is because so. I'm going to pause for a second and sit silently so I check something out. And it is going. I was listening silently so that I knew when to cut and edit for the edit later. It does not appear to be going on the stream, but I will go regardless. So, where we last left off, it could be a problem with my phone. That might be it. Have you got the stream open as well, Ross?
I do. It is currently just loading.
Okay. It might just be an issue. And if we notice it now, then we can come back to it in a moment. Where we last left off, you guys have been travelling through various places trying to figure out what your next move was going to be. You had struck a bargain with a black dragon to help clear out his home and to hunt down members of the Cult of the Void. Listen in on their meeting. You were successful in listening into your meeting. And then slightly less successful. Oh, hello, the stream has gone offline.
Yes, it has.
Okay, I'm going to cancel the stream then and just do it as a video. Because that is easier, so I'm going to stop streaming. Yeah, it says encoding overloaded.
It might be worth, although I don't know, obviously not right now, but in the future, trying to stream off onto YouTube as well.
Yes, that is true. It might be better than Twitch.
Are we allowed nipples on YouTube?
I mean, yes?
No nipples on Twitch. So.
Yeah. So yeah, the stream has just killed itself, so I'm just going to go no, and we're just going to leave it as the recording and see if that works. And if it doesn't, then hell. We're just going to hope. Actually, what I could do is I could start recording on Zoom to capture the meeting, and then we can just have that as a cloud, as a backup. So I will do that.
Yes.
Call to cloud. Hold it. No idea where it's going to go, so I'm going to start from the beginning. Hello, welcome to tonight's episode of Eat, Crit and Survive, where a bunch of us gather responsibly and do this for the second time because things are going horribly wrong for us.
Take two.
Hey! Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, no Jared, he is unwell, and this possibly is redundant. You may have picked it up on the first take. Who knows? So, live. Where we last left off, you guys were travelling through the jungle of Rancor to listen to a meeting of the Cult of the Void. You stopped and made a deal with a black dragon to not kill him, but in turn, him not to kill you. You then sought out and dealt with the Cult after listening into for some information and finding out that Liralair was a member of the Cult, a long-time ally. Along with her brother, she escaped when Kalatar told them to not fucking move.
That was one of my good rolls in that combat.
It was. However, too late. As they escaped through a tree and disappeared off somewhere. You took a moment to kill the green dragon and capture Brother Spore. You then spent some time interrogating him after tearing off his leg. You were then attacked by Lord Acrimony and his forces who had come back for you and had finished off a fight with him. And then decided that you need to go somewhere new. You need to try and track down Lirelare and her brother. The next morning, as you were beginning to discuss what you were going to do and how you were going to do it, a number of things happened. One, Lirelare returned to the party with information and shared that with the rest of you. And then Kalatar bonded himself with a dragon. That's unfortunate because on the screen, hang on, let me just... Kalatar bonded himself with a dragon. So that can only go well. So we shall see how that's transpired.
Those happened the opposite way round, of course.
Did they happen the other way around?
Because Lyra didn't join them until Pariah Deep.
Yes, that's true. You're right.
By the way, I've got a feeling Connor's fallen back asleep.
No, just...
no, he's awake. He's alive.
I am definitely awake. I just didn't want to interrupt the flow.
If you start snoring, we'll shout.
Events? Well, no, he would have muted himself. Events happened in a order in which things happened. You then returned to Pariah Deep and your keep, promising that you'd have a discussion with Orion of the Deep. You thought you would have a night's rest with the prisoner that you had captured, the brother of Lord Acrimony. You thought you would then interrogate him and get information on his city. You could have had you actually kept an eye on him.
If you'd have searched him, removed his items, not put him in a room with a ballast, not had him in a room with any rope, or, just taken any general care. Kalatar should never be a dad. Leave a child in that sort of situation, you get the same result.
You also had a time to scry upon Lord Acrimony within his keep, which did tell you that it was probably not a good idea to go to the Underdark Drow city that was probably expecting you at this point. You noticed that you had a number of octopus tanks dotted around, as well as the place looking slightly cleaner. Kalatar went outside and had a conversation with Seliph after they'd had the conversation with Lyra and had brought her back into the fold somewhat. He chatted with Seliph, and another couple of octopuses turned up, along with Cedric, who had been completing missions with his little octopus friends and with the guild that he had joined a long time ago. Oh no.
Trouble is, I can't see Ross, thankfully.
Yeah. Just leave it. There you go. With his two octopus friends, whose names were Ross.
You're muted, Ross.
Not and Ken.
Not and Ken. Not and Ken, who the octopodes, octopi,
I think.
octopussies, now part of his entourage. You then had a discussion with Orion of the Deep, and among other things, decided that your next best move would be to move off to Nexus to have a conversation with, among others, the cleric that you knew, cleric of Athena that you were aware of, Nordak Eversharp, your long-term ally, and possibly even have a conversation with a cleric of Hecate to see if you can get the wisdom and the guidance of the god of Crossroads, or the goddess of Crossroads, I should say, to give you direction of what you should do next. So, after a slightly irritating conversation that Kalatar had to have with Nordak, to get the teleportation sigil downloaded to Kafina's...
Gave him the opportunity, within my wording, to answer the question, and he was a deliberate knob about it.
Yes, because he gave you the opportunity to tell him your correct name. You lied. So,
hey, I'd already been thrown under the bus. I thought, I can't do much worse.
And yet you were wrong. So, with that, unless there is anything else you want to do in Pariah Deep, Kafina will start drawing a teleportation circle to take you to Nexus.
I have nothing to do here.
Alright.
I can't think of it.
So, teleportation circle drawn, and Kelatar feeling a slight sense of
Dread.
really should have fed that dragon his drow meal,
Yeah.
which you didn't actually do anything with the body, so that's still in your keep. That's going to be fun. Which you realise as you step through the teleportation circle. You messages, things are happening. Ross is doing things.
Just for Matt's sake.
Yeah,
We could use sending and ask Selef to clear it away.
you could. But having set up the teleportation circle, you step through it and emerge into a 20-foot square room with grey walls and no windows. The 9 of you, a little bit tight, along with the 2 octopus and the large form of Cedric and the massive form of Actian with his antlers. And a single wooden door stands as the exit to this room.
I open the door.
Open the door, and you see on the other side the familiar shape of Nordak Eversharp, standing there hefting his hammer, which written in Dwarvish has the rules. He looks at you as you step out. It's been a while. I hear things have gone a bit to shit. There's a lot more here than there was before. Hi, Nordak Eversharp. Nice to meet you, tall one with the antlers. You small. Oh no, I met the gnome. I don't think I met you, other cleric. Morpheus, you follow?
It is indeed.
I don't think I met one of your kin before. There aren't many of you that wander around.
Not on this plane, at least.
No. I think there's a good reason for that, but we won't get into that. Shall we go find somewhere to talk, and you can tell me things that you've found out?
Sure. Let's go.
Alright, follow me. And he leads you up some stairs, and you step out of the stairway into a large temple area. This is the main temple of Hecate within Nexus, which is also, as those of you who've been to Nexus before know, this is the Guiding Keep. The Guiding Keep is the home to the leader of Nexus, the Pathfinder Sage, as well as the main temple of Hecate. In this main section, it is a large circular 120 foot across area on the floor, divided with large 15-foot wide white columns, which are positioned to hold up the walls and the roof, which obviously gives extra floors to the upper part of the keep. Across each of the compass points there is a 40-foot square building, which shimmer slightly, and Cedric, you can taste in the air the different flavours of magic from each one.
Delicious. Delicious.
The temple itself is centred on a tall marble statue of a woman, bearing crossed arms with a torch in each hand, a snake wrapped around her shoulders. At her feet, a pair of dogs sit, and as you look up at her face, you can see that it is split into 3 different faces. One looking to the north, one looking to the east, and one to the west. You also notice as you look up that across the ceiling there is a map of overlapping circles with words drawn in various languages. I would say Kelatar, Lyra, and Asher in particular, and in fact probably Foundling as well, would recognise this as being the overall map of the plains, or at least an artist's rendition of the map of the plains.
Click, click.
Exactly.
Right,
There are various words in different languages, and Asher, you are quite surprised to see that some of the words translate to you in your Vikian, which show, among others, Muspelheim, where the fire plane sits, Asgard, Midgard, where the prime material plane is, among others. Nordak leads you through the chamber and brings you into a room in one of the buildings, and says, "Right, this is a fairly secure room. This is one of the abjuration classrooms. We can sit in here. It's fairly well protected. Do we need anyone else to be here to be part of this conversation?
I don't think so.
Unless we want to bring in a cleric of Hecate to ask advice from.
Could be useful.
We did say we wanted the advice.
All right, I'll bear with. And he leans his head out the door and he goes, "Any wanderers available? Any guides available?" Oh, right, yeah, come on, need you for this. And a woman walks into there. Human female, around 30, sort of silvery blonde hair streaked with lines of green and blue. Sort of mess around in her hair a little bit. And she steps in and says, "Good evening, or good morning rather, I should say. I am Guide Elsbeth.
Pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you all. You seek the wisdom of the Lady of the Crossroads."
We do. We are looking to blind ourselves. We are looking to find ways of travelling to the plains. Pretty much all of them. And we were wondering what is the best way in order to do that and how we would go about it.
Right, it depends where you want to go.
That's the thing, we're not entirely sure.
So you would say that you are at your own crossroads and you need to make a decision on where to go?
Yes, sure.
Very well. Is there anywhere... Where are the places that you have as options? Where do these paths lead you to?
Primarily, I think we need to look into the fire plane first. The plane of fire.
So
Then fire?
that is the place that we know we need to go almost immediately. Other than that, we're not sure where to go from there.
I see. There are portals to the Fire Island Plain in various locations, none of which are particularly near here, but there are some who, if you get the right item, would be able to take you.
When you say the right item?
Well, the planar transportation magic, in particular, requires a tuning fork that is attuned, or some sort of item that is attuned to that plane to act as an anchor to open that gateway for you.
Right, okay.
So if those who have the ability to transport across planes have something of that, they are able to get themselves from one place to another. Or you could find an open portal, which aren't sure where that will take you to.
If I were to have such an item as this, and I pull out the cloth, don't open it up or anything, just kind of hold it up. If I were to have an item such as this as a kind of plane of
focus,
if I were to have some kind of item that would replicate where we'd ideally like to travel, would I be able to effectively manipulate the randomness of this item?
May I?
Sure, of course.
Takes it. I will need to pray over this for a moment to understand its workings. If you have anything else to discuss, it might be worth doing that now, whilst I think over this. If that is quite alright.
It's fine by me. I only just got that, so I'm trying to work it out.
Of course. She sits down, she starts casting spells. Nordrak says, "Alright, well, whilst that's going on, the fuck has been happening?"
Remind me when I last saw you, because a lot has happened.
Well, the last time we saw each other was before the celebrations in Alfheim. Actually, no, it was the week of the celebrations in Alfheim, so it's been, good 5-6 weeks now since we last saw you.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Where to begin? So much has happened. We've lost party members. We've gained some back. We've stumbled upon a black dragon that needed help.
I don't need all of the only the ones that are really pertinent to what the fuck what I'm trying to do, which is to destroy this cult?
We managed to eavesdrop on a meeting of various members of the cult.
Right.
Discovered that they were looking for specific people in various places, and they were going to be talking to, again, specific members of the cult, all of which live on different planes, which is one of the reasons for coming here.
I understand that. I understand that logic.
We were then told, after this, when Lyra returned, that the first place that they would be going would be the Plane of Fire. After that, we weren't quite sure where we were going, so we're just kind of making it up as we go along, like normal with this group.
Hey, that sounds about right. That's how most adventurers bumblefuck their way through things.
Hey, if it works.
You say Lyra obviously returned. Returned from where, if you don't mind me asking? And he's looking very pointedly at Lyra.
I joined the cult for a time.
His demeanour does change at that, and he sort of puts a hand on the haft of his hammer. Right. For what purpose?
I had what might best be described as a crisis of faith. And found myself working for the purposes of the cult, or the Order of Balance, as they call themselves. I was working in the Feywild, working to save beings there who were threatened by the effects of civilization on that plane.
Right, so if you don't mind me asking, why have you come back?
Because as soon as I was introduced to any other members of the Order, any of the other branches, then I realized that I couldn't just do good things myself and justify it. The whole organization is rotten. There's something rotten at the very core, and I knew I had to leave it and get out.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
May Cedric make an insight check, please?
He may.
To discover whether there is shenanigans still going on.
Yeah, of course.
With
He
Lyra.
wasn't there for the first conversation with Lyra, so...
Yeehaw.
See, Lyra sucks at this stuff, so she got a 12.
I got an 18.
Okay. Although she's a little bit shaky, there are some details in there that she is not divulging. You get that much. Whether that is because she hasn't got to them yet, or she is hiding.
Or whether I out of character have forgotten stuff.
There is that, but I would get to that. Whether that is because there are things that Lyra is not mentioning for any particular reason, or because she has just not gotten to that part of the story yet. You don't know, but you do discern that everything she has said so far is truthful.
That was the key bit, because she's talking about something being rotten, and that's why she wanted to sort of switch sides, I guess,
Yes.
for lack of a better term. That's fine. Cool, thank you.
So what did you learn about the organisation? Because we know very little.
I learnt a lot, and having discussed things with the others since I came back yesterday, I have have confirmed a few more things, and Lyra will take Nordak through the chart. My chart now looks like this.
It has lots of words and scribbles on it.
It has.
I got mine digitized.
Yeah. Do you need me to send you the story of the cult?
What
Is
the
this about how their life got flipped and turned upside down?
I'd like
what
to take a
the
minute and
the
just
sort of
sit right
basis
here.
of it
Yes.
about the visionaries?
The thing that the visionary that he told you.
I mean, I'm just not going through it again for the sake of brevity. I did go through that last week.
Yes.
That's true. That's fair.
You don't
So
do 2 weeks in a row.
But our audience, people. No, I know. That's fine. Yeah. So you relay the story as is understood and has been told to you, and all the information that you have on the cults, including the members that you are aware of, and
Including the ones that are dead and
including the ones
the
that are
ones
dead.
that might have replaced them.
To which Nordak pulls out his own copy of the cult map and sort of starts making notes, annotating around it. Says, right, well, that is good news, at least. So they're targeting the visionaries. That's where your brother's going to.
The task for my brother was to collect Arcus Rory Wins on what she performed at Alfheim and deliver those notes to each of the visionaries.
You're breaking up a bit, Tom.
I thought it was me.
I thought it was me.
Sorry. So he's trying to collect the notes from Roywin and circulate them, deliver them to each of the visionaries so they can replicate the achievement of bringing a visionary through to the material plane.
Right, but you suspect that he's going to the fire plane first.
That was
Yes.
our understanding.
During the meeting, Lord Acrimony told Ulrion to ask the Scorch Lord, the visionary in the fire plane, to send his tenants, weapon and soldier, against us.
Alright, that makes sense. And if Roywin's able to get around as much as she is.
We were also able to discover the identity of Lord Acrimony. They are a drow by the name of Saildor, and they serve the matron mother of Sailhill in the Underdark.
Don't know anything about Sail Hill. I can.
It is a few days from Pariah Deep, apparently.
I think it was about 5 days.
5-day walk from Pariah Deep.
I'm not sure I know anything about Prior Deep or that, but I can get someone investigating. We can see if we can set something up.
They should be cautious. Through magical means, we were able to briefly spy on him and learned they were going on a defensive alert.
Right, so
I've seen into their stronghold, and they seem to have risen or altered their warriors, you could say. It didn't look like a very holy approach.
No, that's the one. That's the branch you said that's linked with Zuktamoy. Is that right?
Yes, the demons of the abyss, Lady Zuktamoy, Lady Undergrowth.
And did you say that? You said that Spore was supposed to take men up to Abelos.
Forces were being gathered in Abelos, and he did disappear from the fight, didn't you say?
Spore. He did.
Yes,
He did afterwards.
albeit
After
he walks with a bit of a limp now.
we suspect that he turned himself into such a small creature that we couldn't see him and disappeared.
Norlak just puts his chin and most of his face just sort of disappears into his beard as he seems to be pondering. If the ones who are going from the abyss are going to Abelos, that makes sense. Abelos is built over a rift into the abyss. That's why there's so many tieflings there, because devils over time gravitated towards it as easy kills to get rid of demons that were coming through.
Devils? If it's a portal to the abyss?
Aye. Because as I say, devils and demons hate each other. So the devils came through on the material plane and attacked the place where Abelos is, so they could get easy kills of removing demons. Which is why they then bred, and there's all sorts of tieflings there. That would make sense. In which case, that might mean that they're targeting places of weakness around Fiaros. Or other places around the realms.
I think it's other places around the realms, rather than just on Fiaros.
I think you told me before that you came across a portal to the Feywilds.
We did. It was in a place that's
North of Solrisa.
I was going to say, it's a place where Matthew can't remember, but Kelisol would.
Yes, north of Solrisa.
It's at the abandoned Temple of Pan, not far from the Temple of Artemis, north of Solrisa.
What she said.
So that might be another place that they'll strike from.
Perhaps.
Do we know of any... Are there any places that are great mines? Any evidence of gemstones?
There is a great mine in Pariah Deep.
As well as the one in South Peak, right?
The one in South Peak is a mighty mine.
Don't think I'm aware of any others.
The one in South Peak is highly guarded, though, almost impenetrable.
Yet they could attack from underground, rise up from there. Or
Certainly, it's protected from. It's protected by the waters, not from an underground invasion. That would be quite easy.
So
Out of character,
yes.
what's the dwarf city on the other continent that has the river to hell?
Vectram.
Vectram, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah, Vectram.
Yeah, Vectram may also be vulnerable. It is effectively a big mine, and it has a river flowing directly to hell.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Not wrong.
That might be possible. Well, that goes directly to Hades rather than to the Nine Hells, does it not?
I believe you are correct.
Yes, the river Styx.
Although there are branches that do go to the Nine Hells, among other planes. I'll get in touch with some of my old colleagues from back there and see if they can keep an eye on it. It might be worth seeing if there are any other portal of rifts, any planar rifts around this area. I suspect if one of the mines is possible to attack, it's unnaturally strong of ore and minerals, gemstones, that it could be the earth plane leaking through. In which case we might need to find out if there's anything for fire, water, air, or the astral plane. If there are, and they try and do that here, they could wipe out a lot of Varos. Or a lot of...
Eras.
Aye, that one. He's all ponders and scratches chin and is thinking.
Also, not far from Abelos, in the Great Wastes, is where we came across the lair of Ralakor, the seer. We don't know if he's still there, but
Aye, it's
possible.
I mean, the only thing I can think on that regard is that you say he's a beholder, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They are quite paranoid beings, and if he is subjugated to the Admiral title search, it would make logical sense for someone to sequester themselves as far away from a being of water as he could be, if they wanted to maintain their own autonomy.
Yeah.
Entirely possible. But you're right, there could be a plane to the Could be a link to the water plane there. It'd be unlikely, but it's possible.
Frankly, there could be a link to any plane anywhere.
Well, there are certain places that have greater affinities. You know, like diamond mines leaking through, and the planes to the seas tend to be, well, in the sea.
The trouble is, as we say, it's all, to a certain extent, supposition. We don't know where we need to go when. We're about 3 steps behind.
I'll have to think on that, as well as what you said about the visionaries being conduits. If they're brought through, I would have thought if they're all in one, they'd need to be in one continent at least to act or whatever they're doing. If they're bringing through their what they call the voices between, that's not good. You best
no one has any idea what or who the voices between are.
No.
I believe even the visionaries don't know, and that's what scares me the most about this whole organisation.
Goes back into thinking. At which point the guide, Elsbeth, looks up from her studies and says, yes, it does seem that you could, if you had something of a strong enough presence to link to a particular plane, you could use that to influence where it opens up to.
Right, okay.
As long as you have the right focus to guide it.
Well, that's useful to know. How do we acquire such an item?
I mean, anything that is particularly strong links to those planes should do it. She looks at Asher.
Indeed.
That belt of yours.
Fire giant strength.
That might do it.
How sure are you?
Not very. I'm not very well versed with this. And she sort of holds the handkerchief-sized portal. It might do something.
What about the ring that Cedric has on? Would that be an influence to the air elemental plane?
May I?
No.
Gundamir might also just be able to straight up take us there.
Sorry?
Gundamir might be able to just straight up take us there.
There's also that option. She studies the ring. Yes, I believe so. It's connected to a Djinn, so yes, that would make sense. Djinn, rather. She hands the ring back to you.
Thank you.
Don't we also have a vestige that's heavily involved in water?
She looks puzzled at that.
No? Must just be me.
This is where
Then we have the
everyone
armour.
looks- This is where everyone looks at their stuff.
So the only thing that I've got is a ring connected to the earth elemental.
Control of earth elementals.
I've got this armor, but I don't think it's connected to a particular plane.
Says true.
Silver
Again,
solidarity.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have thought so. That's doesn't look like it's anything to do with it.
They have a water skin filled with water. Will that help?
Probably not. No.
Hmm.
That's where everyone looks at their magic items and tries to figure out what they've got.
Not a lot.
Yeah, not much, man.
I mean, it's entirely possible that you can pick up other things as you go along. But if you were trying to get to the fire plane, that belt would be a good start.
Would I know how safe it would be to go to the fire plane? Because it doesn't sound safe.
Make a history check.
I have no idea. That's a 4.
4.
Someone Someone has something called the Hidden Depths, don't they?
That's what I was thinking.
Who has that?
Foundling.
Do I?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That, I think, is connected to the water elemental plane. The notes with it say, stolen from the crown of Oceanus.
Yeah, that would do it.
Connor's a genius. Also, Connor, can you move yourself slightly to your right so that we're hiding the potentially copyrighted content that's behind you? There you go, on the television.
Just like that occasionally someone's peering over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Not even octopuses.
No. Thank you.
Okay, so yes, I will point this out.
That might be a good link to the plane of water. So in which case you have connections to each of the elemental planes, which is useful.
It's good to start.
We know of a portal into the Feywild if we ever need to go there. But into the astral plane, or either the Hells or the Abyss, is a different story.
No. One of the things that might work is if you had a contract with a devil, that could act as an anchor.
Fess up, who made a deal with the devil?
Didn't we have one from the Ore Masters?
Yep.
Yep.
Do we actually have a physical contract?
Yes, it was given to you by Lord Elmaster's sister.
I don't know who's currently got it.
You weren't there for that, Tom. That's why.
I wasn't. No. I missed that week.
I think Asher has it actually.
As what? The contract?
Yeah.
In my bag, yes.
Yeah.
I feel that I would do well in the plane of water. I am comfortable underwater. How safe would it be to travel to the plane of fire or these other locations?
Well, the plane of fire is not one of the nicer planes, let's put it that way. It's quite warm there. Those who are not well inclined to heat don't tend to get on very well. It's quite slavery driven as well, so you would need to be careful to make sure you are not captured and taken into slavery yourselves, as I imagine you would all be quite fine specimens.
Is there any measure of protection we might be able to take with us?
Not that they would respect, not from these planes.
No, I mean protection against the conditions.
Oh, not that I'm aware of, unfortunately. Sorry. Any protections from the elements that you may have, if you can take them from spells or other sources might be useful.
I think no matter which plane we're travelling to, we're going to be in a certain amount of danger.
Yes, I do not recommend going across all of those terrible planes. They could get bad.
I wouldn't recommend it either. Unfortunately, it's somewhat of a necessity.
Essential travel, you could say.
Indeed.
I would recommend against all but the most essential travel during these times. If anything, stay at home. If you
Save
really
lives.
need to. Well, yours mostly. Save your lives if you don't go to those places.
Unfortunately, you might call us somewhat of key workers. And we have to travel to these places.
Oh, yes, if you have to go to work, then you should only do so if there's no way you can do it from home.
It's a
And
bit
it sounds-
difficult to travel through the planes from home.
Oh no, you've got a portal to do that apparently.
Well, yes, but it still requires going to the portal.
I think we've stretched this one as far as we can.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Do we have any particular focus that might let us come back to the material plane once we're in a different one?
Hold Shatterfang up. That was made here.
What about my staff of woodlands?
What about me?
I mean, you're all from here. As long as you had something, you could use that to get you back.
Athena could banish us back.
That would be a way of doing it, yes. I mean,
Can she?
Who's done for?
I mean, I think I can. Yeah, I
think so.
I can banish.
Yeah, she's got banishment.
I mean, that works all well and fine, apart from one of us.
Yeah. Plus, it only works on one person at a time.
Why do you say that? Are you not of this plane?
I was born in the Feywild.
Well, that at least gives you an advantage on getting to the Feywild.
Yes.
That's a benefit. But I should imagine you would be able to get back if you used the plane shift spell, if you were able to.
Or we can just play Russian roulette. I mean, I've not had a lot of excitement in the last 2 weeks.
That may also be an option.
That's what happens when you get tied down.
All that looks up, confused. Oh, you met someone, had you? Is that at the festival?
Yeah, I mean, gotta get out every now and then.
Oh, hey, what's her name? Or their name? Sorry, I shouldn't assume.
Oh, are you going to assume?
I'm not. That's why I very quickly changed myself to what's their name.
Allow me to quickly scroll back because it was important for this week. And I've used their name like twice.
In conversation with me.
Yes. No, their names are not of importance.
No, of no consequence.
Of no consequence.
Asher,
Mind your own damn business, Nordak.
Asher, are you protecting her for
Their own protection. we need to keep their name.
Whatever Asher's doing, it's not against the rules.
In some places, it's actively encouraged.
keeping her name secret for protection?
Well, fair enough. Alright, so is that what you're going to do then? You're going to try and get yourself to the fire plane?
I think that's the best thing that we can do now.
It seems that we have a way there, and we know it's somewhere we need to go.
We might as well start with potentially the hardest.
My only question is, are we all going?
Yeah.
I believe you will be.
You have my tonfa.
And my sword.
And my staff.
I mean, my penis.
And my sword as well.
Alright, no, but we've already had a sword, so you have to have a different item.
Well, I don't have an axe.
What about a bow?
I do have a bow. I never used it.
Cedric's got an axe, surely. Well,
And my hand axe.
And my great axe.
By the way, I did find them.
What's
It's
that say?
Noalo and Frode.
There you go.
Hey, give me a goddamn break. Only 2 weeks in a row.
It's alright, at least you were able to answer the question because you hadn't muted yourself.
Also true. Also true. Anna will pipe up and say that she will stay with you for the short term, only to help you locate Ulrion to start you off.
okay. Much appreciated.
Then what will you do, Anna?
Then from there on, I think I'll return back home and watch this adventure from afar and see if I can locate anywhere else while hunting through the dreamscape.
Well, if you've got any kind of way of contacting us from that point,
Oh, don't worry. As long as you sleep, I can find you.
as long as I sleep. Okay.
That's very creepy.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
Yeah.
watching you when you sleep.
I'm now slightly glad I don't sleep.
I mean, it doesn't bother me that much, knowing that someone might be thinking of me while I sleep. Hey.
Are you Freddy Krueger?
No, but you think of me when you sleep a lot, Keller Tarbuckler. And I'd rather like it if you stopped.
Hey,
Nah.
I can't control what the heart wants.
If you've quite done with flirting in this sacred place.
All right, okay, yeah.
I'm sure it's done worse.
I mean, it's alright. It's not the Temple of Artemis, so you're fine. Fine. I guess I'm going to do some research and see if we can find any of the other plane weaknesses on this side.
Should we survive and make it back here, we'll check in with you.
I'd appreciate that.
Also, after divulge all this information, how are we sure that Nordak is Nordak?
Make an insight check.
Oh, that was like the perfectly timed crow then as well.
How do
we know that he is who he says he is?
He's a bird.
Can I insight check Nordak?
You can make an insight check on Nordak.
19.
Is that Asher or is Anna?
Anna.
Anna's not met Nordak before.
Then it will be as Asher.
You can still find out whether he's like, I guess.
Yeah, it just depends with.
Oh, I suppose if you're comparing him to
16.
previously.
16 doesn't seem to be any different to before, other than being slightly miffed that you didn't tell them about your partners. You were just your partner. You were just being secretive about that for some reason.
Yeah, got to keep him secret. Keep him safe.
Keep secret, you're safe.
And what about your? Where's the gnome?
Trick is not there.
Nope. Trick's
Oh,
not.
fuck. Thomas fed up of having to talk to himself, so he's just made the character just vanish.
He is a compulsive hider.
And
Can I get some sense of as to when Trick left?
nope.
Cool.
He did speak a little while ago.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was like he was here and then he left. It's like
He just walked and he walked.
What's that, man?
I'm gonna head back to Niflheim, I think. It's been an interesting few days with you all, but you guys are in some serious stuff, and I don't think it's necessarily everything I wanted.
I mean, that's fair. We wouldn't subject anyone to anything that we didn't feel we had to do.
So, having said that, if you're ever in a sticky situation and you're near or around in Jorvik, then make sure you give me a buzz.
I'll send you a message.
Oh, please, Axiom. You've travelled with my friends, so you seem to be trustworthy. We have a lot of contacts in Jorvik itself. If you ever need to contact us, there's a small house in the middle of Alfheim which you can contact me at least from.
I will
And I'll give him the directions to Noala's house,
Okay.
which I'm sure she will love to
Signed Moose Man.
that turn
Your
up.
girlfriend sent me.
I'm here to deliver to give a message.
She'll probably
It's
try
the
pulling on
slightly
the.
less big one.
It's smaller than the big one.
I was going to say, if the big one fits in, then Axiom fits.
Yeah, but the big one can shrink. You just didn't know that.
So can Action, we shrank him.
That's true.
Yeah,
Alright, so Action takes his leave.
I will do handshaking as appropriate, etc. And stroll off into the sunset
Alright.
without looking back, looking really cool.
That's impressive because it's the morning.
Yeah, it's middle of the morning.
Sunrise, his eyes are watering, but he's still walking that way.
He's walking away from the sun. He thinks this is the way towards the sunset. If I keep walking, I'll eventually get there.
Eventually, I'll look cool.
Alright. So,
Eventually.
with that, you take. What are you guys doing now? Is there
Sending,
anything you want
Fireplay.
to do as preparation before you head
sending a quick message.
to.
My heavily winged friend.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Because we are now back on the same plane.
Yeah. You were never not on the same plane.
I didn't think I was able to do it from...
No, we couldn't find Orion because he wasn't on the same plane.
No, he's talking about Belgabad.
Yeah, I know. That's the only reason that we couldn't contact
Yeah, you can
him.
contact Orion because he's on a different plane. Belgabad has been on the
fair
same plane the entire time.
I will send...
Also, sending does work across planes.
yes, that's just squares.
Does it?
Failing.
Sending does, yeah.
That's it?
Yes, but there is a 5% chance that the message won't arrive.
Does it?
Does it?
Do you want to say
Does
does it as
it?
well?
There we go. No.
Boorarad? Balgaboo?
Belgabad.
To say...
Gormad?
Belgabad, the bone melter.
Slight mishap with Drow.
Wow.
With Drow. He died.
Died, yeah?
Yeah, he died.
That's what you're going for? Died.
It's true.
You need to put 2 more fingers up for that.
I was going to say, this is it. This is in character, so yes, died. It's true.
Oh, it's a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive.
Yes. Matt said that.
Sorry, didn't
We'll
hear.
find some way of compensating for your loss.
Stop making promises.
It's only 19 words, but...
I was looking forward to the elf flesh.
Oh, don't worry, we've got another elf.
You got here.
That's why I didn't respond in character.
But very well. I shall look forward to whatever you bring next. Ah!
Okay, so he's not entirely happy, but he's also not entirely unhappy. Which I think is the best thing you can ever say about a dragon. Wondering how I'd managed to run out of 3rd level spell slots.
It's because you did a bit of sending.
Because I had to do sending twice.
Yep. Kafina has used up one of her fifth levels in getting here.
Oh, yes.
So, with that completed, is there anything else you wish to do before you leave Nexus? Bearing in mind that Nexus is a fairly well-stocked city.
I think we should pick up some supplies.
Healing potions. Healing potions.
Fire resistance, fire resistance, fire resistance. Water breathing.
Water breathing in the fire lane.
We're going for a random portal.
You know who we're going to go and see, don't you, Connor?
I know, while we're here, why don't we go and visit our old...
Shut the fuck up, right?
our old small
How about
friend.
we just go to the fire plane? I'm sure that's not.
And I head off for the magic shop.
Okay, you make your way towards the... What is it called? I did write it down, I was looking...
Can't remember it, you can't use
The
them.
product of spelunking.
Yeah.
So you head to the product of spelunking, and you enter the door. There is the familiar robotic form of Sam.
I hold the door open for Asher.
Is Asher coming with?
I walk through the door, holding Kelatar.
Okay.
Okay.
What, dragging him behind you, or sort of in a choke
Like
off his feet?
like a cat with the scruff of the neck. Just gonna like pick him up.
Fair.
Oh, right, yeah.
Use his face to open the door.
All right. You walk through the door. Greetings. Welcome to product of spelunking. How may I assist you?
I think Asher might want to discuss.
He's taking his headphones off so he can't hear you say that. Young lady, you have been directed towards me as the person who must be inquiring. How may I assist you?
Like some healing potions, please.
Would you like those to be the regular kind, the greater kind, the superior kind, or the supreme?
How many of each do you have?
We have got, of these various potions, 12 regular healing potions, 8 of the greater, 4 of the superior, and just 1 of the supreme.
Okay, and how much do all of those total up to?
Those cost in various amounts. 50 gold for the potions of regular healing. 150 for those of greater. That's when I look at my charts of things and listings. 500 for those of superior. And 2,500 for the supreme.
Which ones do we want to get?
Connor does maths.
How many Supremes were there?
One supreme.
I have a lot of money, apparently.
What, Cedric?
Yeah, because Kafina gave everyone a boatload.
Yeah. I reckon Kafina should pay for it, given that
Kafina hasn't. Well, to be fair, it is taking out, that is essentially party fun, but just stored in one person's itinerary.
I will get the Superior. Was that the big one?
That's the second biggest.
What's the biggest?
Supreme.
Supreme. I will buy a Supreme.
Okay, you buy the one and only Supreme for 2,500.
Was it? Sorry.
2,500 for the Supreme. That is 10d4 plus 20.
Okay.
If everyone could put their phones to mute, because...
Is that 250? That's 250 platinum, isn't it?
Yes.
I will pay him 250 platinum.
Thank you for your purchase.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Have you got anything unique in store? Anything wondrous?
Anything that might help us with fire.
Let me have a look at potential wondrous items that we may have in stock.
I will buy the rest of the healing potions.
All of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I work out how much I will.
Alrighty. We currently have in stock.
Sorry, the total for all of the potions is 6,100.
Is that including the Supreme that's already been purchased?
That is all of them. I've not done any deductions
So
for
take out
anyone
the
because I
Supreme.
started before
Less.
they started buying.
So that's 2,000. So it's 3,800, I think. Ish.
Which is
How
chump
much was
change
it for the lot?
6,100.
So 3,600
3,600. I will pay
for the rest.
360 platinum pieces.
Okay.
Because I have it.
We currently
That does
have in
maths.
stock a number of potions of fire resistance.
How many?
We have in stock
50.
5.
5. And how much are they?
Those will cost you around 300 gold pieces apiece.
Yep, we'll take them.
Thank you for your purchase. That will be 1,500 gold.
Who's purchasing that?
I'm putting them all on a little jotter, and then once I've done them, then I'll try and have
I'll cover those.
Stop buying stuff.
Is that 150 platinum?
We want a discount.
Cedric doesn't know! Cedric wants to be helpful!
Stop just buying things. Put it back.
Cedric will pay the money and take the potions.
We also have, if you're looking for things that are unique and wondrous,
I am looking for them, yes.
we have this book, A Manual of Bodily Health. It will boost your constitution and your heartiness.
How much is that?
That will cost you 6,000 gold pieces.
Oh, Ash is going to put that in a pile and pat it.
I'll pay for that. Oh, you don't want me to pay for it?
Ash just slaps Cedric's hand mid-transit.
I'm not paying for that, apparently.
We also have in our stores armors of fire resistance in various sizes and abilities.
Anyone want some armor? I just paid shitloads for mine. I've not used it in combat, so I'm not buying any.
I don't really use armor. I will potion if that's all.
Sorry, what?
Armor of fire resistance.
I mean...
It is attunement, I believe.
If you drink a potion of fire resistance
Yes.
and you've got armor of fire resistance,
You do not gain immunity.
yeah, well, no
They do
fucking
not
pointless.
stack.
Okay.
I'll check.
Do you have any armor that is both made of wood and resistant to fire?
We do not. We could look into that. As you're wearing your wood scale mail, your blood scale mail.
Yep.
How much was that armor cost?
Might need to change my.
And what sort of protection would it give?
We have armor of the rare varieties, which would provide you a mild increase to your armor. But we also have one which is specially prepared to give you a greater increase. That particular armor would cost you, in the region, of 7,500. And we can transfer it from any armor type to another that is not enchanted.
Instantly.
It would... They have answered for me. No, it would take us about half an hour.
Oh,
Oh, in which case,
would that affect the enchantment on my armor?
Your armor is enchanted, so no, it wouldn't work on it. It would remove the enchantment that you have on your
Yeah,
armor.
yeah, that's fine.
Guys, I had a thought. My armor might be quite flammable, so maybe it's better that I wear a different armor.
I mean, Cedric, you wear whatever you feel most comfortable in. If you think that your armor could be damaged or useless, then of course you should buy something new. Treat yourself as such. It's not a lot of money.
7,000.
It's not a lot for you guys as a group.
No, like,
No, but
How much was it? 7,000?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could buy that.
I mean, so could I. How many? Do you have?
In which case, I might need something.
I only have one of the greater enchantments, but I do have another of the lesser.
Please hold while the player Ross is trying to do some math.
Okay.
I've got a scale mail, technically, right now, which gives me 17 AC. But I cannot do the metal. Metal, no. So the next best thing is hide,
Yes.
plus my dex of 1, which makes 13,
Plus your shield.
plus my shield. So what I need is what was the pluses to the better armor?
The better armor is a +2.
Was anyone else interested in getting that?
I think it's you or me.
There's a +1 armor and there's a +2 armor, both of which are attunements, I should stress.
Oh yeah, okay, that's kind of killed the vibe there.
Sorry, while you're thinking
Lou's
about that,
just
so-
looking around the shelves,
Okay.
by the way.
Yeah, so is Foundling.
Okay.
can I just
Anything.
illustrate that we brought all of the health potions.
Yes.
Ash is going to buy the book.
Yes.
Was there anything else other than the armor? Oh, we brought all the fire resistance as well. Brought 5 of them.
You bought 5 of those. There are a few various bits and pieces. There is a stone that does draw your attention. It's quite a nice, smooth, polished stone, which is labelled as the Fortuna stone.
Fortuna stone.
He likes fish.
There is also a particular shield that does draw the eye. I can bring up the specific details of that shield. You can't use shields, no. Where is it on my list of things that I can do? Here it is. And you sort of spend a little bit of time and you read over to it. And it actually looks very similar to the shield that Cedric already has, with the eye emblazoned on it.
So another Sentinel shield.
Yes.
Remind me what advantage on
Perception and initiative. And not attunement. But you have to be holding the shields.
Is there a bonus to passive perception as well?
Yeah, as a natural benefit
You're
of it, because you have advantage on perception checks, you gain a +5 to your passive perception.
I think I should get a hide armor of the slightly lesser good one, just as a backup.
So you want to have the lower enchantment upon the hide armor, is that correct?
Correct.
That would cost you, for that armor, 3,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
Bear with me whilst I transfer the enchantment. Whilst that is transferring, can I assist you with anything else?
I would like to add the enchantment, or one of the greater enchantments.
What you are currently wearing,
Yes.
which is just
Studded leather.
plain studded leather.
Yep.
Wow.
Alright. AC of 50.
I can transfer that for you.
How much was that, sorry?
7,000.
Okay. Okay.
Armor's resistance up.
Oh, yes, they are.
It will be a bit of one because I don't have. It's not set up with a +1 enchantment. They're normally just straight armor, but with the enchantment you've got plugged stacked in. But that is easy enough to create. I could probably do that in the break for you both.
Cool.
So yours is leather +2.
Yes. It's a attunement item, yes?
Yes.
Okay, I will, once I've got that, I will unattune from the Ring of Earth Elemental Command.
Okay, so you lose your protection against acid.
Yes.
So Cedric, yours is hide.
Yes.
Hide +1 fire resist.
Ain't getting rid of the ring now, is it?
No.
That would hurt.
I will not be attuning to it yet. It is my backup armor in case this one goes in a blaze of glory.
Yes. Okay. Is there anything else that you would wish to purchase whilst you are here?
Just looking to see what there is.
Yeah, likewise.
There's a lot of different things that do draw your eye. There's a couple of interesting books about magic and general spellcasting. There's obviously quite a lot of different foci available for spellcasters. There's a few odd statues that you notice, sort of ivory lions, onyx dogs, among other things. Nothing that would particularly strike of you.
Are there any weapons?
Yes.
I suppose I'll check to see if there's a better rapier than the one I have, or a better weapon than the one I have.
There's not a better rapier, but there are better long swords. I think the best enchantment for what you're looking for in terms of finesse weapons, there is a +2 short sword.
+2 short sword.
Is there anything particular you're looking at, Foundling, whilst Tom's thinking about that?
No, and I've checked my inventory. I don't actually have a +2 quarterstaff. I just prefer the +1 tonfa because of the extra abilities.
They're +2 Tonfa now, aren't they?
I think
Sorry,
so.
+2.
The Tonfa are +2 item, are they not? They're awakened, I thought.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's unlikely I'll find anything better than them.
Yes.
Do I?
No, you don't. Although you did pick up some things whilst you were wandering around in Balgabad's cave that you didn't actually distribute.
Did I? Okay.
Well, I can't remember what you picked up.
Picked up the ring,
Yes.
which I
It's kind of look to us.
firmly have in my possession.
Yeah, no.
You're lucky I picked up on that.
Yeah, thank you. We picked up the winged boots,
Yes, the winged.
Staff of Thunder and Lightning,
Yes.
the Brilliant,
Yes.
Yeah.
and the Iron Stone. I think.
Yes, that's right.
Are any of those attunement?
They
All
all
of them.
are. But that staff is essentially a +2 quarter staff, apparently.
Yeah.
Staff for Thunder and Lightning.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I was
+2
asking for
tonfa.
is, do they have any handy haversacks or anything? Because Ash doesn't have a bag.
They do have a haversack that you could use.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Can
they
I-
have a bag of
can I-
many pockets.
Yeah, sweet. I'll take a haversack.
That would cost you 130 gold.
Oh no.
It's not an expensive item.
Hence, jumbo it.
Also, do you have any items that are good for traveling between planes?
Are you talking about the focuses that one would use for a spell such as the plane shift spell?
That would be good, yes.
However, I could order for you delivered from the Contrivance Union.
How long will that take to get here?
That would, depending on if you paid for the extra delivery, it could arrive instantly, or it could be a week.
Guys, we have a direct line to the contrivance using in the bag.
We do.
Okay, don't worry. Do you have anything else that might help us though? Like a scroll with a spell on it, or an item with a spell on it, or anything else with a spell on it?
We have many scrolls. Is there any particular spells on which you are interested? Basically, whatever spell scroll you want below 5th level and below, they have. They may
Plane
have...
shift is 6th, isn't it?
Sorry?
Plane shift is 6th.
I think
It's your 5th.
7.
It's the 7th, I think. Maybe right. Yeah.
Pretty sure 7.
They may have a plane shift spell. Let's make a roll for that. They do, in fact, have a plane shift roll.
Should look it up. Also, isn't there one where did we, was that in your
Where we dodged the foreshadowing scroll,
Yeah.
which we didn't pick
Yeah.
up.
That was in your bit.
God damn it. I was like, I'll never forget that spell scroll.
So yes, there is a scroll of plane shift available.
How much is that, please?
That is a spell scroll. Yeah, that itself is...
Can I even cast it if I don't know 7th level spells?
You can
Yeah,
cast it.
you can cast
would
it,
just-
alters
you
the
would just-
DC.
Well, no,
You have to roll for it,
you
don't
have
you?
to roll for it. Because it's out of a scroll, it's not using your spell slot. As long as it's on your list, you just have to then roll a check against it with your spell slot.
I was limited by the level I could cast
Not
to.
because- no, this is magic sorting enchanting.
For sure.
That would cost you another 4,000 gold.
I will pay for it.
Okay.
Right, so just so I got all this down here. I've been adding everything to my equipment list so we didn't miss anything. So can I just get so I can alter it out of this bag? So at the moment I've got 15 regular healing potions.
No,
Kelatar has all the potions. He paid for those.
Yeah, so I'll get rid of all of them, yeah?
all but the Supreme, which
Cedric has.
Which said I've just been adding them as we go along so I don't miss out on anything. So everything but I don't have to have any of those. The potions of fire resistance, there was 5. Who brought them?
I did.
You did, so you've got them.
I got all 5. Yeah.
Yep, so you've got them all written down. Supreme was you.
Yes.
That's how you brought all of the superiors, yeah?
yes,
Four.
every single potion. Healing potion.
Fire giant to Cedric. Supreme to you. I've got the manual of bodily health.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for what we've brought as far as I'm aware.
Cool.
By the spell scroll as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely bubble. I think that's everything.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Any other spell scrolls that you might be interested in? I think Kafina was interested in picking up a couple of spell scrolls for suggestion and hold person. Which would, I'll say, for those that she picks up, she can get 2 hold person, 2 suggestion for 1,000 gold.
100 platinum pieces.
See if I can buy a spell scroll. Just any healing spell scrolls?
You okay, Tom?
I've just thought of something horrible. A theory which I will share with the group once we've left the shop.
Okay.
2 whole persons and 2 suggestions.
Yes. And you were saying actually you wanted to look at healing spells?
Healing spells, yeah. So healing.
Yeah, so
Mass heal probably would be nice.
Yeah, you could get a scroll of mass cure wounds.
Mass cure wounds, yeah. Can I get like 1 or 2 of those?
Is it worth us looking for some scrolls around restoration?
Kelata can do that.
I mean, I can to a certain extent, as I realised I just walked out of the shop.
Lesser and greater.
I can't do any of that sort of thing, but I can bring people.
I can cast Liberation.
As can I.
It might be worth looking at.
Steps into a darkened room. Yeah, sorry. So the fifth level spell scrolls you could get for 2,000 gold apiece.
Okay, I'll get 2 mass cure wounds.
Yeah, and you can get greater restoration on that as well if you wanted to.
Might as well.
The advantage of living in a city which is so close to Temple of Hecate, they produce a lot of spell scrolls.
So, if I had two mass cure wounds and 2 greater restorations.
Okay.
Remind me what greater actually does?
Greater restoration basically removes things like exhaustion and other things.
Greater is like curses, like it covers a lot.
Yeah.
Lesser is more about being blinded or deafened.
So greater restoration, you can remove an effect that has charmed or petrified a target. You can curse, including the attunement to a cursed item, reduce any reduction to a target's one of their ability scores, or one effect that has maximum hit points, as well as reducing the exhaustion by 1. As a single cast, you can only do 1 of those things.
Right, okay. Yeah, I'll pick up 2 of those as well, so 2 for 8,000, yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
I think that's everything I can think of. But
What about anything that helps with detecting or protecting against evil?
They do have protection against evil and good. As that sort of spell, and detect evil. Those are both spells that are available.
What about dispel evil and good?
I'm not sure I understand.
There's a spell called dispel evil and good.
Is that detect evil good or
Dispel.
Oh, yeah, there
basic
is.
rules, apparently, yeah. It's actually a really good spell. It's really a really good spell.
Oh, the fifth level spell. Wow.
Yeah, it's beefy, but it's a really good spell. It's just unfortunate I have level and cleric to take it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd probably be one I always have.
Yeah, you can get those. You get 2 of those. At most, they're $2,000 each.
2 grand and buy 2 of those, please.
This is a lesson to DMs of when you give party a shit ton of money. Yeah. They get it early on, and they see what they do with it. Yep.
Just pile it until we're going into hell. And then
essentially.
spend it all!
just blow it all. I mean, I did say this last week that I was like, oh, look at all this lore we're getting. Oh, next week we should make it a shopping session.
Alright, so unless there is anything else that you wish to purchase at this time, we shall take it as a break then. And then we can come back as you are leaving the shop with your goodies in tow. So we'll come back in about 15 minutes. And if those of you that are watching us on YouTube, we will, you can just fast forward through the next 10 seconds because I'll just edit it out. So then we'll see. We'll come back in 15 minutes, but you guys, it'll be seconds. We'll see you guys at 9. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, we're fine. Oh, yeah, this is on the portal. Okay, yes. So, quick magic up. So fire resistance. Yours is just leather.
Just leather.
Was it studded leather?
Studded.
Okay. So plus, and yours was +2, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I went for the big one.
So base armor, studded leather. Some Crispies. Modifier. Another modifier. Armor class. 2. There you go. You can now find a +2 armor of fire resistance studded leather.
I have some water, but the octopi live there.
One tentacle.
Does
out of a
Mr.
flap in
Automaton
Cedric's bag.
have an endless?
You actually notice for the first time Cedric is walking around with a little bag, similar to a bag of holding, but instead of having the pattern that a bag of holding has, it's got 2 portholes. And just every so often you just see an octopus just sort of just look at them and swim away again.
Does Automaton have
It's basically a Pokeball.
a decanter of endless water or anything like that?
You go back in and ask, he goes, "We do have a decanter of endless water.
I'll take one.
You can purchase that
I'll take
for
one.
1 million gold pieces.
1 million gold
million
pieces.
gold- no. For 800 gold pieces.
Yeah, it's like these guys
Yep.
It's like, these guys really need like anti-fire stuff. I'm gonna jack the prices.
The problem is he's not programmed that way. So if it was a human then, or a living creature, then they probably would have done.
Damn robots.
Yeah. There. You have one of those.
Lovely.
Lovely.
So yes, you step outside. You go to somewhere. Where are you going?
Find a pub, I think.
There is a tavern open. That is called the.
Seems slightly ironic.
They are serving human.
Whoa, is that human?
All the human couple are the fathers, of a man and woman, sort of in their 60s. I see you come in. Surprised to see the collection of the 8 of you that are now wandering around, including the tiny little glass golem that fallen out. Which at some point you're going to need to cast that spell to make it last longer, because that's really you come to the tavern, the man greets you and says, have anything to drink?
Hello, my name's Cedric. What's yours?
Hello, Cedric. I am Baron.
That's sad to hear. Condolences to you and your wife.
No, that's not how that... No, my B-A-R-R-O-N.
Oh. Okay, then.
We have 8 wonderful children.
8 is a good number. I have friends who like the number 8.
Inside check. Inside check. Well, he is not hiding the fact that he doesn't particularly like his 8 children.
Foresight, we're all missing track. Hello, could you tell me the names of your 8 children, please?
Elaine, 6. Clyde. Doris.
4.
That's 4.
Infant.
Yes, Infant. Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know.
That was only 7. Why would it?
Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Makes it easier when you're calling for dinner. You say Jekyll and Hyde. All
Yes,
those
yes.
It's mid-morning, is it here?
Yeah.
Bit early
About
drinking.
11 o'clock now, but with the spell transfer of the armour. Your armour, actually, Calatar, has now taken on a little bit of a tint orange about it.
Doesn't match the black of the scale or the green of me, but
It's horrible, but... And the purple cravat. Significant purple cravat.
so well that colour.
Slight orange and purple and like green. It's a fashion disaster.
No, mint green.
Anyway, drinks.
Yes, please.
What do you have?
Do you have anything stout-like?
Yeah, we have a very good walk out. Do that.
I'll have one, then, please.
I will have one of those as well.
2 stouts. We've got a treacle ale. Alright, Norris. Treacle ale. It's not like having tripped over a piano. Clang!
That's what happens if you leave a piano lying around.
No.
That's a radiator.
Oh.
I'll have a glass of wine, please.
Red, white, rosé.
Red, please.
Very well. And yourselves, madams?
Just 2 ales, please.
2 ales. Very well. He goes off. That'll run you 5 silver.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'm just using off that spell. Work reminds me.
You can't. We'll talk about off streams, I can't remember. Cool. Can't remember what the exact wording of that was. So, you guys are settled in the tavern. There are no other patrons here. There's just 2 bartenders who are busy bustling around, cleaning things, polishing the bottles that are stored in the racks.
Something did occur to me while we were in the shop just now.
Oh yes.
The only hint we have about the captain under the Scorch Lord is the codename Craftsman.
Okay.
And it just suddenly occurred to me where I've seen sort of some links to fire with people who make things and build things and are generally craftish.
Right.
It makes me wonder if someone at the control unit is this craftsman.
How would you suggest we find this out? Because
I have no idea. It's just a suspicion. I have no reason to believe it necessarily, but
walked in and says, "Who here is the craftsman?" I probably wouldn't get that much of truth about that particular sort of thing.
If we pipe up and say, yeah, that's fine. But since craftsmen, they wouldn't necessarily say that they are the craftsman.
Yeah.
Other than the Scorch, other than the Scorchright. Might say he's the craftsman, but
Sorry, the who?
the chief, the Death Knight.
we met.
They're the people who don't speak. Is
Yeah,
that right?
he's
Deaf.
Okay.
Asha says while reading her book.
You started reading that book. Okay.
So we start there, or do we just go straight to the fire?
No. Not necessarily. I just thought maybe we should be cautious in our dealings with the Union. Maybe not go there if we avoid it.
Fair enough. Well, most of our leads recently have been through our little patch.
Yes.
Or they've sent us something through thin air.
How about, to test this theory, we send a message to the contrivance through the pouch, or through anything, telling them that we're going to the Underdark, and if they have any items specific for the Underdark.
That's a very interesting idea.
How do we find out the results?
Well, we wouldn't, but it also then just cover us for any eventualities.
Yeah.
It might mean that they go and defend them to where we're actually going.
But that only works if people that are the ones that will be down there that will accept us are the ones that are working directly for me.
Not necessarily. If we try to procure something irregular for the Underdark, like, I don't know, something that your compatriots can't procure.
Doesn't necessarily narrow it down, though.
They do have a lot of interest in us, though, so I would imagine if there was someone there, they would be keeping an eye on our contacts. It can't hurt.
It wouldn't cost us anything other than time, and let's be honest, if it might help, we might never know. But if this is a suspicion, not just lean into it and try and lead some people astray.
I'm all for it.
It was just a suspicion I had. And as Asher says, it can't hurt to leave some false trails.
It's about time that we started being a little bit more smarter, I must say. We tend to... Well, we just walked into a store of a craftsman and just told him we went to the fire plane, brought fire-resistant potions, fire-resistant armour, and looked as if we were about to wage a pretty war against someone. Let's be honest, we just paid a...
What you're saying is we should actually go to the Underdark instead of those items. I understand.
I'm just saying, we're slipped about where we're going.
That was a machine. It's not even like...
Yes, and last time it was Cedric's brother, and the time before it was Liralair, and the time before that, who knows, we've bumped into so many people and been so honest. It's probably about time that we shut up shop a little bit. Been looking loud and proud for a very long time.
Because I am loud and proud. Okay then, so...
I don't think it's going to the fire plane, but I think we should, if Lyra believes or has a bad feeling about something, it can't hurt to just send a message, maybe ask her to procure something for us right deep.
I think it's worth a shot, certainly.
What we ask for would be specific to the Underdark.
Ask them if they know anything about the Drow cities underneath there, if they have any contacts in there. I'm sure, but...
The Drow used poisoned blades. We could ask if they have antidotes for Drow poison.
Exactly.
That's a good one.
So we could ask for Drow poison, and we could also ask if they have anything for night vision, I assume. Because Kafina can't really see in the dark. They don't really know Lyra's back with us yet.
I don't know how much to think about that. I don't know how much Orion's able to communicate over distances.
I think we should go with Drow poison antidotes. If we send a note asking for them and get them sent to Pariah in the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we never have to go and collect. It's not like we're short on cash.
There is that. Okay, I will write a note.
And get passed into the sack. What is the note? Or vague terms, you're just asking for an antidote to drow poison.
Yes.
Okay.
For it specifically to be sent to the Underdark.
Okay.
Or just to just to mention that we're in the dark.
Okay. You open the note. No response comes back. You don't know how frequently they check the pouch.
That's fine. We don't need a response. We just need to make sure someone sees it eventually. And depart the fire plane.
From a pub.
Yeah.
Just drink.
Cool.
At this point, you notice that Trick's been watching you from the other room for the last, you don't know how long.
If we're noticing with him, it can't be Trick. Must be a doppelganger.
He clears his throat, sort of deliberately getting your attention.
I look over at Trick and just go,
I can't see what you're doing, Matt, because the camera doesn't switch to you, it switched to Luke.
Yeah, it does. So shake
shake my head. Slowly.
I
With a
will
wry smile.
come over. Say, I've possibly should have told you this earlier. I've been in touch with at the Ark.
Right.
No, I wasn't.
Really doesn't care that much about you.
No.
Sorry, Trick.
Trick cannot help wincing at that, given his charisma score. I need to go back to the Ark, because they need to know what's going on with all this stuff. Plus, I'm not really cut out for this kind of. I mean, all this stuff in this world is fine, but going to other things seems a bit beyond my level of comfort. If you get me.
If that's the way that you feel, I wouldn't get you in the slightest.
Oh, I mean, look me up if you need a hand. You can either at the Ark or possibly at the Temple of Hecate here. But if you need a hand, I might be around.
Safe travels, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see each other again soon.
Oh, soon. And he just slopes off.
Almost as if we don't see him when he walks away because he's that invisible.
No, blinks.
Or Cedric Kaiser, yeah.
That's true. Alright, so if that's done, what are you doing?
Go and find a dark corner and jump for a handkerchief.
I mean, I've got a question. Does the handkerchief come with us?
Yeah, you basically, once you're on the other side, you can close it down and you
Okay.
look at the side.
Yeah.
Just hold the fireplace and then just have it leave open in some pub. And some poor person, some drunk just walked in and go, oh, this must be the toilet. Walks through the portal.
This is incredibly hot.
Or just starts taking it right through the portal.
It's a big steaming turd.
And it's just to the water pipe, you get some V-Day effect.
For a high velocity one.
I will find a suitable place where I can open up the
Sat
weapon
on the table.
In the tavern, or are you doing something to a wall? In an alleyway, for example. Or
Probably
you
best.
probably just in the middle of a tavern, terrifying.
Right.
Okay. Alright, so you're going up.
I will focus on Ash's belt.
Okay, make a
Steady on.
Make a charisma check for me.
Nothing but straight charisma.
You get out your general trades, so half proficiency, because bard.
Okay, so plus 2, so 7. Plus that. So that makes it 22.
22, okay. You take the handkerchief and start unfolding it out into it. Are you putting it flat on the wall, or are you putting it on the ground? Wall? Okay. You open it up and you start putting it against the wall. You open it up, you full 10-foot circle. And you can see through there, and as you open it up, you feel the rush of dry heat that just starts to singe your lips. You just feel them start to crack a little bit.
6 feet and died.
Well, now we're 10, 6 feet. To 6 foot. And you can feel the heat coming off this. And you are taking up into some sort of city, but you have absolutely no idea where.
I think our place is bloody awesome now.
Asher strides through first.
You step through. As you step through, you enter out into a sweltering hot city. There are buildings surrounding you. You've stepped out into an alleyway as you are. Not moving around, but there are people passing at both ends of the alley.
Can I see the others on the other side?
Yeah?
Yeah,
It's literally like a doorway.
Yeah, no, I call it through.
Okay, so you
Follow through.
Yeah, follow through.
follow through, step through. Close up behind you, so you can use this. That's 24 hours. Okay. You're all now in this intensely hot city. You sort of make your way towards the end. Yes.
What if I you can't use it again for 1d8 hours?
Oh, okay, roll a d8 then.
1.
5 hours.
5 hours.
5 hours. Make a note of that. Looking out to one side to the left, you can see that there is a lot of people moving around, more so on that side than there is on the other. But you can see that there are stalls set up. And various other people sort of rapidly moving around. The main things you see, particularly you, Cedric and their hands, but there are people of a lot of different races here. But the main ones you do see are tieflings and sort of orange and red-skinned humans, You kind of recognise as being similar to Ganassi.
Oh, right, okay, yep.
Sort of children of Jinn. There are some humans wandering around, some dwarves, but there are also dwarves that walk around with big, burning, flaming beards that have got
Nice.
black skin, as well as those who look in similar physicality to Mundamir, except sort of deep red-skinned, sort of black top-knot hair, goatee beards, a bit more muscular, if anything, wielding scimitars. These appear to be the fire G3. You do occasionally see people wandering around that are dragging chains that are leading people behind them. So elves, humans, dwarves, regular creatures, material plane you recognise, that are each wearing collars. So wearing tattered clothes, but wearing sort of similar. Sometimes you see them individually moving around, sometimes you see them as groups, with different metals, different filigree and embroidery, but you know what I mean, gemstones, different denotations on them, which you kind of get. There is some sort of system to it, but you don't know what it is.
Is there a kind of regular beings walking around in the market as well, did you say?
There's a couple, not many.
Right, okay.
In fact, you do watch something special. You do see this massive 15-foot fiendish creature with large wings just sort of step past, horns sticking out one side.
Past us, sort of.
They're walking past the alleyway.
Alright.
Just walking past the alleyway, just lumbering his way through. That gets a sense from you, Asher, being a devil of some sort.
Do I know what that is?
Make an Arcana check.
Arcana?
Mm-hmm. Nope. It's a devil of some sort.
Big devil horn.
Yep.
Quite heavy.
As you step through the corridor, you sort of look around, you can see that all of the stalls are pointed in one particular direction. So off to your right, there is a small stage area. Most of the buildings around here are carved out of some sort of igneous rock or obsidian, and that sort of dark stone, glass type metal. Basalt was also particularly common. But you can see that there is this stage that's carved out of stone. Obviously, wood would catch fire. And there is one of these Ifriti speaking out to the crowd in a language. Does anyone understand primordial, apart from Kafina?
Upon hearing language I don't understand, I will but ring.
Yes.
I understand primordial.
Yeah.
Okay. God, he sounds so man. Okay, the two of you now recognise that this gentleman is speaking. He is a salesman. And also, this particular gentleman, he is locative, he is strong, he is fitting slave, he can move around, he can carry so many things for you. For you, I started bidding at 5 gold pieces. I have 5 over there. Do I have 15? Thank you, sir. Do I have? Yes, 25. Oh, big spender. He is doing this auction for this person. The idea that this is a slave market. That is happening. A lot of some stall owners are actually actively taking part in the bidding. They can obviously see from the stage, obviously what's going on there. Just sort of.
Can we see the gentleman?
Yeah, there is a Goliath creature. The one that's being sold. Slave.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Goliath dressed in a very small loincloth, which does absolutely nothing to hide.
Oh god, Skeletor's going to buy slave, isn't he?
Does absolutely nothing to which you kind of get the sense that he's kind of proud of this. Every so often, someone walks past and does a double take.
Wait, what?
Which he then sort of goes, despite the fact that he is a slave. And every so often that he gets caught doing that and he gets whipped. We sort of watch this for a few moments and it's a little distasteful for you.
So there are lots of perversion that Skeletor will do to. That's not one of them.
That isn't one of them. So, what are you guys doing?
Trying to work out where the hell we are, apart from the...
Yeah. You also, those of you who don't have magical shoes before, if you stand still for too long, it starts to melt slightly, and you end up starting to stick to the ground.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Thank God for armor.
Yes.
Thank God there's boots of elven kind.
Yeah, exactly. You still feel the heat melting through, but it's not
Oh, yeah.
burning through, but it's not melting your shoes.
I'm guessing being a monk and...
Sorry, Frank.
I was just going to say, I'm guessing being a monk and light-footed, I'd be less trouble than otherwise.
You are. You're sort of having to move your feet more frequently.
Yeah.
And you would like your footwear is sandals, essentially.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit, but not a huge amount. So it's scorching, and you're making sure you don't lean on anything. There's lots of hot metal that will just burn you. What were you going to say, Connor?
I forgot.
Did the guide Elspeth mention a place in the elemental plane of fire?
Nope.
No, I thought someone did.
No, they didn't mention a specific place within it. They just said that if we had one of these items, we could potentially get them.
But you do see looking at this bizarre. that there are a series of basalt arches that are studded with obsidian that seem to be part of a system of navigation, to those who understand it.
Okay. What do they say?
It's not words per se. It's more a case of, it's like the notifications. That's sort of the orientation of what's laid in the basalt gives a direction to something. The main thing that you do pick up is that there is a sign to. Actually, you probably know the direction of that is indicating towards a harbour.
Okay.
A harbour.
Harbour. I'm trying to find my correct notes on this. That is the one. The other one. That's the one.
There's nothing to indicate other than you don't know where we are.
No. Actually, make a history check for me. That's five other things.
Well, things. Yeah. 18.
18. Okay. You kind of sense that because you are in this sort of slave market area, it does ring off the arches. It is one of the most common trading areas with brass, particularly in the city of Brass. So you have ended up within the city of Brass.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, goody.
If you find me somewhere this week, you drop my door on.
I mean, we're in an alleyway and no one has apparently seen us.
Then watch my back.
So,
How long does the spell take?
I believe it's an instant cast.
leave that.
The area that you're in the arches is in between the naval yard and the foundry.
Okay.
So that is essentially.
Did you say the foundry?
The foundry, yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Which you know the foundry is one of the most exclusive neighbourhoods in the city.
Okay, so if I were a very special person, I would place myself in there.
It's one of the areas. With that, what did you roll again?
18.
You know that the third most exclusive area of the district. There are 14 districts within the district. Yeah. The most exclusive is the furnace.
Yeah.
A perfect hemisphere with the charcoal palace rising centre, which does have a lot of government officials around that. Obviously, a lot of security.
Yep.
Scrying takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you might need to go find somewhere inside.
Yeah. I was just thinking that.
Hub.
Oh, pubs.
There are rest houses and taverns.
We go searching.
While we're walking, I couple fee extremely close to me. She's all fragile and easy to steal.
Yeah.
We're in the
Okay.
Yeah.
As you sort of walk through this area, I'm going to say, who is helming for a pub?
Me?
That's
And Cedric?
Okay, I'll say you can make a perception check. Which one is looking at? Asher.
Asher.
I think looking out for hazards rather than pubs.
Okay, make a perception check then for
That's rather good. That's a 25.
25.
18.
18.
26.
26. Yes! So, and also, you managed to spot that there is a tavern not too far within the arches that is labelled as the Tavern.
Oh, right, okay.
It is a complete it says complete outdoor fair. There is a building above it, but it has got tables out front so that people are able to see the stage and are able to take part in the slave market if they so choose. Lyra, you see, keeping an eye out for various hazards, you manage to steer people away from this, that there are quite frequently patrolling the city, going around in pairs, wearing various types of armour. It seems to be that they are security or police or just part of the ruling class that are just looking around on the prowl.
Yeah, try to keep us out of their sight as much as possible.
Yeah, you don't sort of duck your way through some of the stalls and your way to the town. When you get to the, excuse me, there is a dwarf-like creature, but with the burning beard.
Do I have any idea what
Nature check.
nature? You. Not so good. 9.
No, you have no
Yeah, that's
idea.
cool.
Other than this is burning fire.
I'm 35. Okay.
Yep. But he has got his burning beard and hair, sort of standing there, chained rather. It does appear to be he's actually fully manacled to the bar.
Oh, okay.
But there is a running track that basically restricts his movement within the bar. But he is it seems to be he's chained by one wrist and his ankles, so he's very limited movement. Yeah.
Okay.
He does have on these an iron collar that is studded with 2 fire opals.
Okay.
So it indicates that he's a
Actually.
slave. He's a slave, but he's So it's he's not the owner.
I go up to the.
What can I do for you, Hotfolk?
Pray tell what you have for sale. Beverages. What?
Fire, whiskey, ale.
Okay.
There are 2 options. Okay.
Cool. That's fine. How much are there? Keep forgetting. Is there 8 of us?
That is 7.
Or is it 7?
Yeah,
Right,
7.
we should probably definitely lay down how many of us are, just in case we find someone's missing.
There are 7. There are 7 party members. Also, your glass guard is on behind you.
No, you can bring it. You need drink. Sir, if I could get 7 ales and some information.
Persuasion check.
32.
So now sidles off one side, comes back with glasses of setup and see them. 1, 2. Just sets them all out in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
What information you want?
I noticed the somewhat distinguished neckwear that you totally have on.
With my master.
Is that what it is? Because I've seen some people wandering around with different.
This is the symbol of the great and powerful Mistress Ophelia.
Mistress Ophelia. Okay. What's the two variables?
4.
Was it 4? Oh, sorry. My apologies. Okay. Do you happen to know what's other collars?
Who slave belong to?
Do you know any other kind of patterns for other people? Or is it just the Mistress Ophelia that you know?
Only the great and powerful Mistress Ophelia.
Fair enough. How much would it be for these 7 ales?
7 gold.
I'll pay him 7 gold.
Yep, just not gonna argue with you anymore. It was originally gonna be 7 silver, but you pissed him off.
Yeah, pretty much.
You try and pick up one of these hot.
Okay. This will be fun.
If you bro, just try and bring a round to the table.
3.
You take 1 point of fire damage from just trying to transport each of the glass cross.
Is that rounded down?
I rolled 2.
Okay.
Fresh out of the dishwasher.
Sorry?
Just be fresh out of the dishwasher.
Exactly.
No, I put it down and go. Just be careful, they're quite full.
And much like every normal human being would, I read it. Is it one?
Yes.
Is he lying? When it's natural instinct.
Let us prove that.
Yeah. Find out the plate is hot. It's sizzling. There's steam coming off it. I'm going to touch it anyway.
It's like when I'm eating in a restaurant and someone says, oh, just be careful, the plate's hot. And I go, yeah, okay.
I do that as well.
It's like, I know a hot plate.
Yes, I do.
I also
I work in catering.
lick the plate when it arrives to prove how man.
I do not, because
I drop my genitals on the plate to show my manliness to the servants.
Manliness to everyone there, Ross.
To prove my point before I've been thrown out.
I just work in catering, so is it hot?
Yeah, the ale you would taste nice. It wasn't burning your tongue when you tried to drink. Yeah, that's like all. Every it is warm.
So, I found out that the neckwear that people seem to be wearing denote who their master is. The gentleman behind the bar has 4 vials on his. That's the great and powerful Mistress Ophelia.
Correct.
Oh, he's listening.
Clang.
So, that's something to note.
I will speak to Kelletar in Elvish and say,
Oh, I can hear this.
and just say, is it asking him if he's seen someone who looks like me?
I mean, it's worth a try, I suppose.
You all just sat here, sort of looking around generally. There's signs up on the walls of this town, written in a number of different languages, that essentially just list the laws and regulations of the city.
I hope something is not against the law.
No, the laws against the rules, things such as theft, murder, kidnapping, and misrepresentation of goods are up there with various sentences that mean up to 10 years of slavery.
So it's murder, kidnapping,
Theft, misrepresentation of goods.
translation.
We probably won't do the last one.
But the murder, theft, and kidnapping could be.
That's our plan, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's
People like murder, thief, and kidnap.
so those are the what bars in certain establishments and.
If we kill someone and steal their corpse, does that cover all 3? We've killed them, we've stolen them, and kidnapped them.
And we can sell them on as a
You're welcome to try and find out how they judge.
judge me. Amazing.
Let each other out so that you don't get in trouble.
No one's ever committed a heinous crime before. We don't know what to do.
So much crime.
What language was the final speaking?
Please don't come.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm just going to... Cedric's going to just... And then create a tiny little orb in his hand, and it will predict the weather for the next 24 hours by location.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
In this location, it's
Gotcha!
there's the symbol of the sun appears on there, but also combined with the sun, the rays of the sun that sort of span out are bent in expression as it sort of sits there a little bit long. So it starts off as the nice straightforward lines radiate as they shift to points as the time goes on in the casting of the minute, which at some point is going to get hot and windy.
Okay.
I will go up to the bar.
Another round.
Not just at the moment.
Oh my god, see my arms.
You see my brother friend with the white hair?
Do I see her?
Have you seen what it looks like recently?
I don't know. Give him slide his face up, his hat palm face up off the bar.
I drop 2 gold into his hand.
2 drinks.
Okay, I've got 3 more.
Just platinum the boy and get it done.
I put a platinum in his hand.
Persuasion check.
Persuasion. Ooh, not good.
Closes the fist and then just puts it next to the till. Yes.
How long ago?
This was easy.
Really, it was. It was the start of my shift.
Fair enough, I like it.
Is he being truthful? Or is it just
Make an insight check.
I don't know. I'm just being despite his beard.
You roll. This guy is hard to read, especially mostly coming behind. You can't really stare into his eye.
I was going to when I say, he may have seen Orion. Yeah, that was 2 hours ago.
That's encouraging.
If you give me 10 minutes, I can try and find him.
We might be able to make some inroads into these drinks in that length of time.
Check the list of laws to make sure you won't be breaking them.
I start to scry on over again.
Okay.
Before I scry over
Have
again.
you got a... like one of our party, a slight disadvantage. What's it sort of climate that we're currently in. Did you pick up something that could...
Sorry?
Who are you talking to?
Anna, you got an item that helps with resistance against fire and stuff?
No, not at all.
Are you talking about the potions?
No, I was thinking more of a big hat.
You have a big hat?
Oh, that hat.
Yes, that hat.
Do you want to disguise someone?
No, it's a big hat that's covered in lots of gems. We picked it up in the cave. Where we
The
found
rinse helm.
That's the one.
I mean, sure, I'll quite happily give that a go.
I feel that...
Sorry, but just a thing for us to walk around with a shiny helmet on, with gems in it.
Probably not, but...
I feel like that might bring some attention towards us, more so than we already
I was
do.
going to say, we're going to get a lot of attention as it is.
I wouldn't exactly walk around more cities with that helmet on.
I believe it here would be more of a status symbol.
Well, all I'm saying is, I'm not wearing the helmet. I'm not rescuing anyone who is. I will rescue whoever's kidnapped after wearing the helmet.
To be honest, I think... Well, actually, I don't know who we would have the most. I know Cedric and I are somewhat protected. New armour.
I'm not wearing mine, yes.
Of course, but you have to vote for you.
How's my armor doing, by the way?
Charming.
It's smoking a little bit.
You look a bit like it.
It is.
Does it look like at this, because I was wearing Cedric, at this point, does it seem wise for him to do his armor?
Probably. With his,
Yeah, you need to
at the least, it's starting to smoke a little bit like it could spontaneously combust.
Yeah, it does not.
You're not leaning against anything in case kinetic transfer of heat would just cause it to ignite.
That's fair.
And I know that Foundling is well, basically protected against anything because that is what he is.
Plus, I'm just on my book of protection.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not sure about how yourself, Asher, or Liv are feeling.
I'm okay at the moment. I think I might be better if we stay here a bit longer.
Years.
Well, see, I'm wearing a bit different the last time you saw me.
I thought there was something different about you, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
And with a haircut, which your hair always looks different.
And your skin is a lot darker than it was the last time I remember.
No, it's not.
Or has it gone back?
Not.
You're intense.
Oh yeah, that was fairly temporary, I think.
Oh, you travelled by the sun chariot, so.
You're permanently tanned.
Yeah.
We're talking Ross from Friends tanned.
This armor, I can. It's interesting. I can change it technically each morning to change what it's resistant to,
Okay.
which is very useful. Actually, this one I made it resistant to cold damage, which does. But
Right,
if
so
I'm here for any longer, it will be perfect.
So you don't have to remain here in this book. Just
No.
wait.
elemental plane of fire. Okay.
It is magic armor, so it's holding up pretty well.
Asher or Anna, whichever one feels they want to speak up first. Or both at the same time, because that's what hilarious.
Asher would quite like resistance.
If everyone's okay with Asher having the helm.
It is achievement item, Connor.
Yeah, Asher's able to do it.
Okay, yeah.
So Asher, as once said, you're a captain, you can take up the helm.
I have at least one ruby.
It does.
Do you know how many gems there are in it?
Yes, I told you last time.
Useful.
It was fun.
Useful.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
I can't remember how many exactly there were, but
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
when Luke's up, reason that
There's
one.
a lot in there.
I mean, I think it's really it's like fits a
Resistant fire now.
There's also one of these loads you've got to have people try to steal things.
yes, probably.
Yeah.
I actually don't have anything to steal.
I don't know that.
I will clarify for you exactly how much of things it has on it. Now, presumably Cedric and Asher are attuning to these items.
Yes, whilst, I believe Anna is doing her 10-minute thing as well. That's
You started that now.
Okay. So, that one. That's it. Those are the ones. So the helm has 4 diamonds, 18 rubies, 55 and 19 opals.
Whoa. Chill your tits and try and write this down.
You're in the fireplace, nothing is chilled.
I'm trying to decide whether to unattune to the staff. I feel like staff abilities is not going to be good.
Probably not going to help a huge amount.
The only thing it's a bummer about that trace, but otherwise,
I can still cast that. It actually costs a spell slot, but I can cast it.
in which case I will unattune from the staff due to the resistance. Resistance.
You roll 1 for
4 diamonds, 8
18 rubies,
18. Okay.
13 fire opals,
Yeah.
and 19 opals.
Okay.
Alright, so now attuning to that, and Anna is casting Strike. So what is your DC, please?
Anna's DC, I believe, is 16. Just check. 16.
Did you roll a 1?
As you sit, contemplating and focusing on the connection you have there, using that sort of blood connection as a focus, you turn right, and you feel out for that elfin presence, and you feel the sort of whisper in your mind say, I don't usually see this one. Here we go. As Morbius guides your eye a little bit here.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Right, that makes more sense.
Next time I ask for my god's help, fuck all will happen.
Fuck all happens, he's always asleep. You find something standing across a white rhyolite drawbridge, where a sweating dwarf with a diamond inlaid copper collar is rushing back and says, in what you do understand, the moth, yes, still will see you now. And he leans inside the and you sort of follow this. Huge oval ziggurat, 3 proportion for giants, with walled terraces at each level. Each layer is like different metal across the stonework, reflecting a rainbow of metallic colours across the internal stone. Yet inside, there are giant metallic portraits of giants who possibly are the owners that seem to really want even through your terrain objection. As Orion climbs the stairs and is led through an open door to a throne room. Sat upon an obsidian throne, studded with fire opals, is a muscular fire giant with a black crew cut and sword. At his side, there are 2 massive shovel-like spiked shields that sit either side, one on either side with easy reach into like gauntlets. Around him, there are a dozen slaves of human or particularly and Ganassi lineage, standing there holding own platters of food and drink. In particular, there is a water Ganassi standing there, who is in the most uncomfortable position it could be in.
Steam coming off him?
A little bit, yeah. Looks up short and bows and says, visionary. Then begins to speak to the Scorch Lord and says, with Lord Acrimony, he suggested that I come and speak with you, first of all. I need to contact the Captain Arcanist to get her information. He'll provide you with the plans of getting you through to the material plane. It is to take place within a week. Once we get the information to everyone, we can then begin the. But we also have some potential problems. A group of individuals who are in the process of stalking us, and that's when the strike cuts off.
He knows.
He's aware that you were following. But you also know that Lyra had to tell you that there were 2 people under Scorch Lord's charge that would need to go and speak. It doesn't necessarily go this plane.
But no, I think it's so scrying lasts for a minute, 10 seconds. No? Right.
10 minutes.
It lasted 10 minutes, but there was the time travelling in.
Yeah, that's fine. So that was leading as well. That's what that's that. Rather than someone turning.
Yes, it was just the spell ran out of time.
What was the name they got?
The Maester, I thought.
Master.
Oh, Master.
Master. Yeah. The Master of Sea.
Yes, as in his master, wasn't it?
Did you see what was on his collar?
I was going to ask that.
It was studded with
It was diamond colours.
studded with diamonds, diamond laid, and in a sort of form on the right hand side.
Forge some good
Misrepresentation.
representation glove, some collars, and get our way. But yeah, Anna relays all that.
Do you want to ask your new friend what the colour is?
And we could find their master.
Does Anna know who this fire giant is? No, just wondering. He's a visionary, so I assumed he's probably some notoriable person.
The only thing you would deduce from that is that he is one of the visionaries in the cult, therefore he would probably be the Scorch Lord. But anything else about him.
Okay.
If we go within 1,000 feet at least, I can locate him. We'll see.
When we were wandering around, did we see anything that looked like this tower?
No. It's well, very clearly in a district which is very wealthy. and therefore they have the space to build their own manor houses, essentially.
How?
It's like the pyramids in America, but instead of being square-based, they are.
I think we ought to ask the bum if he can direct us a guide. I'm sure there must be guides in this city.
I mean,
I'll ask him and see what happens.
You turn around to him.
Fantastic. He's going to go and tell boss, probably.
I was not there.
Barnum's not there.
We should leave.
at all? Or?
No, not there.
I think we should leave.
Okay.
Someday now.
Well, this point can spell. The scientist tends. The rest of you haven't finished your achievements or items.
We need to go now.
Okay. As you stand up, the way is blocked by 4 big, burly figures that are standing there looking at the.
Done? Okay. Yeah, okay.
You?
So what assistance can we give you this? Fine, all day.
You note that there are people who are selling or buying of secrets, asking about masters.
Oh, we just arrived. And I noticed the different jewellery things we wear. I just wondered what they signified.
They signify that they are those who are of the slave persuasion.
That's right. It was more the inlay of various gems. I wondered if they were to do levels or as we found out they're 4 Beacon Masters, depending on what happens.
You can see we do quite like our gems. I just shifted my hat.
That is also wonderful. You're extremely wealthy in which to have such. But nothing comes up and there's a woman looking terrified over your shoulder cover.
No, we're not particularly wealthy.
Deception check.
We're not nothing but astronomically wrong.
We defeated a dragon, and that was something that we found while we were coming out.
They're not looking impressed.
I don't think I would be, but
Cool, don't get bad.
We look at each other. We will find out you're gone with us. All those trouser-weighted planes must come for inspection. A customs and excise sorting.
oh, okay. So I apologise. It was the done thing to do. If I knew where I came, I would have gone and done it straight away.
Is this true? What are you saying?
I think take us to a dark alley. But we'll beat him up.
So, I'm trying to read it.
19?
No. Evolve. Hard to read.
So as well.
He is a bloke made of fire.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I did not get it.
That's why I didn't catch it. What is your name, sir?
Of little importance to you.
Fair enough. If a little importance, I hope it doesn't offend you. That's the name you've just given.
Just hear shoot of the sword being drawn
Hey,
a couple inches.
no need for that. That was from I'm only taking good what you
Did you hit the 3 behind him that are taller than they just go, little importance. Shut up.
Yeah, he's got to be shit because he's being mocked.
We can take
Us
us.
now, and he reaches down and just puts a big hand and just turns and starts to steer you out of the town.
Okay. I'm not really doing that. I'm glad to just
What is the name of the master that you become too famous?
We're not instructed by a master, we serve the great King.
Very well.
Fair enough. Lead on, because obviously if I'm walking in front of you, I don't know where I'm going.
It's not City King, I just forgot what the leader of the city is. Lord of
City King now.
City King, yeah. From the Charcoal Palace, we are instructed. Asher Maruda,
Okay, the Syndicate.
Yes. Also known as.
Syndicate, Lord of Ifrit.
Like I say, lead on, because I have no idea where I'm
They
going.
can form up and take 1 or 3 behind the rest of you, keeping an eye on
The
yourself.
small one in front.
No,
The small one.
he's at the back. Although actually, yes, he's leading the point because he's the one that is most pissed off by the other 3 are sort of mildly in.
Can I ask him if he knows who the mirror is?
You can, if you want to.
We have a good friend, an air djinn.
Did you?
The djinn. Yeah, I was wondering if you don't know who is very powerful, so I assume you're equally as powerful.
More so.
More so.
You reckon
How so?
you're stronger than good.
This could be something we could test with us now.
Do not think or we will let you down. And then sell them to slavery.
Is the story where we killed the dragon? I don't really heard that.
I don't think they did.
Oh,
It's
okay.
that
That is true, we have killed several dragons.
They are completely unimpressed by your claims of killing.
I mean, I'm not
I know, I'm fully aware of how many dragons you guys killed. They don't give a shit.
How many people have you?
Plenty.
Plenty.
I don't think that's the number.
No, I'm not very impressed by that.
I drink plenty of beer.
I've probably died more times than what.
Then you're weaker than you look.
Oh, honey.
You have
I have
clearly,
missed it.
you have clearly fought against the purely fire giants at one point in your life.
I've grown. Stop getting fussed and stop counting after I keep doing. Get mixed up between devils and demons all the time.
It was really sinkhole.
Oh, the sinkhole. That was a great.
Sinkhole dragon. 28 to hit you, Asher.
Yeah, that's fine.
You take 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. can't believe that Cedric's passive perception didn't see the guy walk down that bar.
And 9 points of fire damage.
Half.
Oh, no, plus 5 damage. And he just whacked you in the head.
I love you too. It's from dexterity saving throws.
No, because I don't know where it is. Oh, is that the
The helm exploding?
Yeah,
Yes.
the helmet's bloody.
Yes, from saving throws.
So it's too fast, that's damage.
I believe so, yeah.
Double check.
I believe so.
Funny.
Makes it great, gives an out. Yeah,
Bad.
they take fire damage as a result of a failed.
They're not going to take it.
No, because it's not just fire damage, it's radiant.
Yeah.
Take fire damage as a result as a failed saving
Okay,
throw
fine.
from a spell.
Yeah, no
specifically.
worries. So you're fine.
Although, if you want to make it explode, I'm
Kill
totally okay
all
with
the
that.
innocents.
It's just.
So,
Sorry, we're not supposed to be in silence, man. We like to talk a lot.
that is obvious.
Yes, I talk a lot when it's all people.
It's always nice to meet new people, okay? Hear about them, isn't it?
2017. 30 bludgeoning and 9 reduced fire. It's insane, that's ridiculous. You are innocent, so yes. Good enough.
What a nice place you have.
As they leave through the city of
You
Brass itself.
still can't stop yourself.
No!
It's a nice place, yeah.
How hard to get They lead you through this particular area, from the up just towards sort of the northern edge, which you get the sense they're leading you towards the docks.
Oh, okay.
But there are also sort of subtle heat coming off the sea of fire that is off to the right hand side. But you start to see it's almost like the city itself is built on a volcanic structure upwards, that big structure. You start to feel in the shadow of this large area, which you presume is the very high.
So fucking up.
No, it's because it's the very high falutin area. It's the most visited, so you can see the charcoal palace itself. But you start recognizing some of the buildings around you, which are still pretty opulent in their construction, but basic. So by human standards, they're strange, but by the standards on the fire plane, they are basic. Most likely, you are being led into a military district. Ooh. There's a archway that you are led through a giant, which depicts a series of battles, just engraved across the metalwork of giants fighting and triumphing, being triumphant against most creatures native to the European and the metal planes themselves. So you can see wrestling, defeating this gigantic creature with whiskers across his back that is clearly many times larger than they are. The two of them fighting with a kraken. What? Somehow they've managed to draw it up onto land in order to fight a giant horse that has an island across its back that is just stomping its way through and being slashed out. These aren't names, but you have the time to stick around and read them. As you are led through, so you start to come into the barracks area. War everything starts to gather around you, and you're all standing there now. They start talking to one another rapidly. You pick up on it's essentially a conversation about new recruits.
So,
We're slaves!
we've got little importance, but I don't know about anyone else's names.
One of them badges of big importance. No, not rather that we'll see.
So what do you have to say?
But you have the same name. You're both importance, so that leads me to suggest that you're related.
We share no kin.
Is it wasn't a common name around here, or...?
15 hits.
Misses!
Yeah, so they swing again with the sword, and this time you just duck out of it. Nimble, but to show good before the single ranks.
My name's not Nimble, it's Gallagher.
Yikes. Which is the last word you hear before tongues expires.
So, we fighting this?
I think we have lost communication with him.
I don't think communication is right now.
No.
At the moment, there's you can see that there are two long ranks of slaves that are dressed up in some sort of they're like the collars, but different types of armor. So how inclined they be? They are marching away off doing either some sort of drill or patrolling or what?
Two questions.
Yes.
One, how many times you once?
No, using multiple times. You've got 10 charges. That's
Okay,
right.
so I've got an item thing for
Okay.
and two from those people wearing clothes that we saw marching away.
Second Stephen distance. But you can see that they're sort of a dull iron, which may just denote that they are part of the military. They're not owned by a particular person, they are owned by the city.
Okay, cool.
So we're not even gonna get good colours. I'm heavily against this.
What, colours or...
I'd be right if I was gonna get like a diamond or something, but
I don't think we can fight them in some sort of fight where we can protect and then get our freedom.
If I take on all these and that more?
I think we should see where this goes.
Yes!
yes, we just don't really care what you think. You've already treated us very poorly.
We were just talking amongst ourselves, and frankly, it shows bad races to be listening into our conversation.
At which point, you feel the tingle of your shields or in effect. That is where we will pick up next week. Because it's hard to this could take a while. Cool.
Yes, off the locals.
Yeah.
Bribery was not a good idea. Mistress somehow. Mistress, the great and powerful Mistress of India. So,
Just didn't leave. I'm so shocked. Take this little bastard.
I did roll Chris on. But as much as there was anything that Demetrius leaving, he's vanished.
Yeah.
So, Thank you very much for joining us. We've got to keep this going on. Whilst we are in these looking for relief and joy.
Light-hearted comedy.
Chaos. What else going
New
on?
adventures.
Whilst we're at it, do check out some of the RPG and those other places that are sales and that they would have lost out because they are unable to take part in conventions.
Things.
Yeah, buy things from you. So, like our friendly local gaming store, you can go check that out. R1 is and Milton Keynes. They'll do game delivery services for you, so you can phone up and message on Facebook. They will send you. They will bring you games if you're in the area.
Also, let's go doing it for Northampton as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
Manus Boutique.
yes. But that was the ones that actually asked to say. They'll pay for this. So, check those out. Support people. Game Team, another one that we particularly like. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Go.
Bye.
I was like, someone do something with it. I'm on this whole redemption thing that's like, we give people a second chance. We needed that shit 6 weeks ago. I just won first. I'm just like, hit me. Yeah, I went for one.
I was wondering if we could understand what was being said.
Yeah, you would be led by Caladar.
It's always such a good idea.
I mean, it's a problem, so there's that.
Yeah, I think it's all messages. Yeah, don't get surprised as well.
Yeah. Alright, guys, see you later.
See you later.
Bye, Carla.
See you later.
Yes, you guys.
See you later.
Okay, so it's signing off. Bye then.
Yeah,
Yeah, too.
Just message me tomorrow. We'll sort out that.
Sí, señor.
All right, adios, señor.